I'd like to greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Today happened to be September the 17th, 2019. It's Tuesday afternoon. It's about 2:50 a.m. When I say I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you, it doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you are the richest to the poorest, nor the toughest to the weakest. Doesn't matter if you are dark-skinned or light-skinned. Greet all you all with the same universal greetings of peace and the blessing of God be with you. It doesn't even matter if you're my family, friends, or proclaimed enemies. I greet you all the same. First, I want to show you something. I've been talking about change. Y'all see these bushes? At one time, they was just like they are on the end. They was like that all the way around. Those, and even on this other side. And I normally cut them all myself. But it's a young brother that I know, him and his family, that I know that does landscaping and a lot of other things that he tried to keep himself occupied from being downtown in this unjust system, or being out there in Oak Grove in the cemetery where blacks is at. I seen him coming by, and I told him, I said, man, if you ain't busy, I got some work for you. Showed him all them bushes. He gave me a price. And I told him, I said, man, you do these things right. I said, I have a blessing for you. All right, now, I have a blessing for you because I'm going to double what you asked. And the brother cut them. They was all, they done somewhat grove back, some of them. Like over here, they done grove back. I'm going to give them some more work. They grove back a little bit here. But he cut them, he had them all even. And while he was working, I told him, I said, man, it's a little hot, man. You don't have to continue. You can get yourself some rest. And I got him cold water, whatever he wanted to drink. Young guy, he young enough to be probably my grandson, because I have a granddaughter that, let me see, she was born in April of 1991, so she's about 28 years old. But everything else that he needed, I got it for him when he was done. Took him to go get him something to eat. Took him to go visit some of his family. And gave him some more equipment that I didn't use that he can use with these here and have replacement parts. He showed me respect, and I showed him the same thing. He didn't just show me respect because I gave him the job. He gave me respect because he likes what I do. His family like what I do. But I want to go on, about change. You see, I wanted to see that brother not being downtown and have him some work to do. Just like I did a lot of others. There's 3 or 4 people in this town that came and asked, can they borrow money? One of them came almost about 6, 7, maybe 8 months ago. As a matter of fact, probably longer than that. I think it was in December of last year. Guy I used to have a lot of respect for. A lot of his family don't show me respect, but I had respect for him. Still today, that guy ain't gave me my $10 back. Told me to let him get $10 until his woman get off work. Don't live too far from me. on the next street. Gave it to him every time I see him. Oh, you ain't never at home. Till I finally told him, you keep that. Another brother asked him for $20. Cool with him and his family. Said he'd get back in a week. I said, take 2 or 3 weeks, man. Seen him. Didn't have it. He said, man, my job is holding back a week pay. Then he asked me to get another 20. Gave it to him. Ain't seen him or heard from him since. I don't dislike him. He's still cool with me, but he can't get no more money from me. I had a white guy come fix something in my house. Halfway did it. Then left it undone. And I told him, I'm not finna pay you nothing. He called me and told me I owed him for something. I didn't even respond. Thank God he didn't come back. He left my whole bathroom floor unattended because he said one of the preachers here in town needed his air conditioner fixed at his church. But he didn't care about my 91-year-old dad and my 2 young daughters and myself being able to have to use a restroom. Thank God for a good neighbor. Change. Tried a black guy to finish that. Paid him up front. Didn't show back up. Change. Then had another white guy to try to do it. Same thing. Then I had this one brother, man. He got him a little drinking problem, but the one brother, he came and fixed my bathroom up, made it look brand new. Took me to Lowe's and told me what all we need. And he fixed it up. And the price that he gave me, I tripled his price. Because I loved what he did. Change. One other white guy had him to just put a couple of sockets in my daughter's room since they got a lot of games and things, and one in my living room. Charged me $80 for each socket. Knowing it ain't nowhere near it. This is the same guy was homeless when I met him. Him and his female. And when somebody did give him a place to stay in a trailer, me and my neighbors was feeding them, paying for their food. And this guy, about a month or 2 later, the electricity went out in my children's room. And he told me, when he came back to look at it, he said, oh, the house is just old. I told him to get out of my house before I hurt him. And I meant that. I know it had nothing to do with the house being old. It had to do with the way he put those sockets in. I called a brother that was a master. He went to school for electronics. A preacher. Came over right away. He knew what the problem was. It wasn't the house being old. It was the fact that the individual didn't know how to troubleshoot. And this guy wanted to charge me a little bit of nothing. But I told him what this guy charged me. He said, Brother Raymond, I wouldn't dare charge you that much. But I gave him triple of what he asked. Because he gave my daughters and them electricity back in the room. And it was getting dark. And this guy that messed it up didn't even care. Didn't even care. Now, let's go to my vehicle. I started off, good, thank God that I have 2 vehicles. This is what you call a multi-purpose switch. And what it do control in my 2003 Ford Crown Victoria, it controls the windshield wiper the windshield wipers, the wiper cleaner when you want the cleaner to come out. It controls the turning signals. That's why they call it a multi-purpose switch. And it went bad as far as here when you try to squirt out the windshield wiper cleaner. I changed the pump itself, didn't work. So I went and bought a new one. I brought this new one. Had to go all the way to Cape Dorado, Missouri to get it, and I asked my mechanic, was you gonna be able to put this in? Because I wanted it back. I don't like leaving my vehicle overnight nowhere. He broke it down, told me he will. This was about 3 or 4 days ago. As you can see, it still broke down. The price that the mechanic told me, I doubled it and gave him his money up front. Just told him all I wanted was my vehicle fixed back that day. Got back, my vehicle was abandoned, doors unlocked, starter was out because you have to take the starter out. I was having problems to get it in, and my one neighbor that I always can depend on down here came down there with me, put the starter in, he rolled my Suburban back, and I drove this back. And this is the way it is right now. Change. Even though I paid for it and paid double the price that the individual asked, I'm not mad at him. So I got a guy in Sison, a white guy that I know, that be charging a little bit of nothing, and I always double him up because him and his son does great work. His son is in a wheelchair and able to get up under my Suburban and change the oil, but I started having him, once he got up under there and changed the oil, I told him he don't have to climb on the top, I do it, or a certain thing, but he can do it. You notice the cats is on security, one here at the front door, and one is at the back. But change, y'all. You see, it's time for me to leave here because God is showing me too many different things in this town. I sit and try to make me some videos, speaking my mind. White folks don't come by here saying, shut up, Ian, before we hang you. It's ignorant Negroes, young and old. They come from across the street, they come here. They have the chief of police, they had a sergeant, they had a captain, they had an NAACP present in past presidents, in members, Susanna Wesley Family Learning Center, some judges, some prosecutors, people at City Hall, these organizations in this town that's getting government grant money, have all they support to attack Raymond Lewis Ivy. Change. I got to leave. So my daughters and my 91-year-old daddy will be at a place where people have respect. We'll be at a place where when the police does something wrong, that you'll have NAACP, real NAACP members and presidents doing like they did over in Sison, Missouri, and put that officer on administrative leave who got on Facebook talking about Muslims. They did it immediately. It was changed. But you see, you ain't gonna get no change when you have the same players. You see what I'm saying? In baseball, football, and all these other sports, when the same players study doing the same thing and they're not getting no championship, they get a change. I would be wrong to let my daughters and them continue to stay in a town like Charleston, Missouri, where there's no change, especially for non-sellout blacks. There's no change. Look at that. The cat even know. We got people in Cape Dorado that's willing to take them and find them homes when we leave. They know it's going to be a change. And I don't look down at all people here in Charleston, Missouri, because you have some good people here in Charleston, Missouri, black and white. But you don't have enough or any that's really standing up for a change for the betterment of all people. I'm going to leave as I came with the peace and blessings of God. Peace be still.